Hey everybody, welcome to We Got the Beat, the podcast devoted to teen entertainment of the 80s and beyond. I'm your host, Michael, and my magical, wonderful, that's not a word, elf from beyond Mindy is on the other side. I don't know where I was going with that at all. I started just winging it, and that's never good. I'm not a good improviser. I really am not.
No, I don't think so.
You try to liven up the show, and I fuck it up.
But you called me an elf, and I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not.
Okay, elves are...
I'm going to say yes, and let's just be on.
Okay, cool.
Move on.
I'm not going to say, like, gnome or anything. Are elves supposed to be tall?
Once upon a time, someone called me a sprite.
A sprite? Oh, you know what? I actually like that quite a bit.
That seems slightly more of a compliment. I'm not really sure.
It does. It's much better than it.
Anyway.
So it is the last gasp of summer, so we figured we'd pick two movies that show you kind of like the summer job, the adventurous little thing you do during your vacation. I'm tired as fuck, and I don't even know what I'm saying. I quit! I feel like I need to start over. I'm so tired. Alright, so let me try that again.
You alright?
I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm punchy. We just wanted to talk about two movies that weren't your typical summer movies, you know, where they always go to camp or something like that. These are more the job side of the whole thing, and they are more authentic than a lot of what we see in summer teen movies, especially prior to this era. These are probably the most recent movies we're going to discuss, Adventureland and The Way, Way Back. Do you feel like this is like a more natural, this feels like it really was the writers' lives?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, we've talked about movies like this before where it's like more of a slice of life kind of thing. Just a small snippet in time of some, I do know The Way, Way Back, a lot of that is, semi-autobiographical, so I don't know about Adventureland, but I do know, at least reading it did say, for The Way, Way Back, it was definitely inspired by similar conversations that Jim Rash had with his own stepfather when he was that age.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but yes, I think, these movies are a little bit more... they obviously do have a purpose and a point, but it's more driven by the characters and, like I said, just a small moment in time that perhaps defines and helps change the course of their life. I mean, The Way, Way Back is definitely like a coming-of-age story where... you'd think Adventureland is, but really this guy is just, 22, and he's still just as wayward as that 14-year-old kid. So maybe it's still coming of age.
I think he's still a little more focused. He knows a little bit more about who he is. I thought this was right after high school. He was going to go into college. He was 18.
Yeah. No, I also thought that they were... in high school. I just assumed that this was a high school thing too, but it's not. It's 100% not. He has graduated from college, and even Kristen Stewart's character is also, she's a few years younger, but she's in college.
Okay. Oh, I didn't catch that. I thought they're on their way.
They just work there on she's working there on her college break. So they're definitely a little bit older than I thought they were, but I think that it still really fits with it just has the vibe is right, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there's so much that feels natural in both movies. I think there's a little more drama in The Way, Way Back that's, more about plot. Whereas Adventureland, it really does just seem like a total slice of life. And it's just like a stream of consciousness of, like him trying to remember what it was like, as a teenager working for us. It feels authentic because we've been to so many of these like small time kind of carnival little adventure kind of places. We had doggone it, Indiana Beach was kind of like the big. I feel like there's a couple others. Like I think there was one that we went to.
Fun Spot Park.
Where's that one?
Fun Spot Park.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one is.
I think that someone like took us to it, like a family member or something.
Okay, well I know we went to one
something.
with our cousin Kim, and Mom took us. Was that Fun
I
Spot?
think so.
Okay, we had Page's Crossing, and there was that one that we never got to go to, Jim Diamond's, in Fort Wayne.
Oh, it's because it was a water park, and I think it looked too intimidating to me.
But there's always like those kind of on the cusp. They seem like they're slightly above being like your summer carnival, the state fair kind of thing, just slightly above that. And there's something kind of like low rent, and they really capture that. Like they purposely set up the game so that you fail. The rides are constantly being worked on because they're old and gunky. The people who run it are just like, hey, we just do this during the summer. We take the rest of the year off. Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader, his husband and wife, are fucking hilarious, and I love their conversations while putting stuff together, like putting the googly eyes on. It's just this one's a pirate.
Did they just improvise this whole entire movie? I think they did. It's interesting is that they were only on set for 4 days. They did all their scenes in 4 days.
Oh my god, they shot this during the winter?
Yes, I saw that too, and that was like, oh wow. So, it's a working amusement park. Yeah, it's Kennywood, isn't that the like Kenny Rogers like equivalent to Dollywood? I don't know.
This
don't
quote
me on it.
It's been around since the 1900s. But here's my question: it opened in 1898. Holy shit! It's still operating.
This park, yeah. I will say that it does definitely feel like a few steps above, like, what's the one we watched the documentary about?
Yes, exactly. I was thinking of Action Park.
It definitely is a few steps above Action Park.
Yeah.
It's not as dangerous, but it's also, they're clearly scraping.
Yeah,
and it's the best they can.
Basically, everybody in charge besides those two, and they must be working 24/7. That's why they get the rest of the year off. They must be paid a bunch of money for those 3 or 4 months. But it's basically run by kids, just like the way it was at Action Park.
Right.
If you haven't seen this documentary, it's on HBO Max, and it's fucking mind-boggling. Action Point kind of does its version of it, but boy, they leave out a lot of the horror of what really happened.
It's like fun for what it is, but like seriously, the documentary was so good. Yeah. It was just so fascinating to me because it really delves into the like sneaky shenanigans and like messed up thought process of these people.
Okay, so here it is. I didn't miss it. He just graduated from Oberlin College and was going to go do a term at Columbia University.
Right.
Okay.
He was supposed to go to New York, share an apartment with his friend to go to Columbia. And then it all fell apart. And then he had to get a job and lost his apartment and lost his direction. So it's like, it's super weird that this movie, he's just like, okay, he gets a job because it was super easy and it's a blow off, and obviously there's some fun people and he vibes on this girl real quick, whatever, but there's no real like resolution at all either. Are you laughing at me?
No, I am. How can you tell when I'm laughing? I wasn't even making a sound.
I know you.
No, I was looking at this, and I'm seeing Martin Starr. I must have missed this in the movie. He has a degree in Russian, or he's going to get a degree in Russian literature and Slavic languages, a degree which he claims will get him a job as a cabbie, a hot dog vendor, or a marijuana delivery guy.
How recently have you watched this movie?
I just did. I just have ADD. You know I'm terrible sometimes. Oh my god, he's so funny in this movie. This changed his career, I believe.
I mean, I think that he's like very I think he's just sort of like a gem in everything he does, but I don't really think that he gets the respect that he deserves. But I do think you're right that he really did. There was a time when you were just like not seeing him very much before he kind of could transition from being like a kid actor to being an adult.
Yeah, well, I mean, before this, he was just a straight up dork. You know, he always just kind of played these inept buffoons. He was just doing another version of his character, Bill, from Freaks and Geeks for like a decade. And yes, he was in Knocked Up, and that helped. And I think he had a cameo in Superbad. This is from the director's Superbad. Two wildly different movies. I will take this 100 times over Superbad. I know it's supposed to be real. There's some stuff in there, even me, as filthy as I am, I get uncomfortable hearing about them talk about. But
no thanks.
So it was this, and then this led to Party Down, and I think those two back to back really kind of put him in this corner of being like, yes, he's a nerd, but he's also incredibly witty, very smart, and a little smug.
Yes. And I definitely, Party Down, you can see that so much. Then, of course, that his character in Silicon Valley is really not terribly different.
No. But something about, and that's the one that really made him. Like, everybody kind of recognizes who he is now. He's the gold star in this movie. Yes, I think Kristen Stewart, I think those, and yes, she made a ton of money with the Twilight movies, but I think it damaged her career so much, I still think it's hanging over her head, even though she's proven herself. Underwater is a fucking great movie.
I think that on a personal level, it kind of messed her up on her personal life because she made some poor choices. And I mean, you don't know that you're going to be at a movie that's this massive and so fucking stupid.
Yes,
but
it does allow
such a huge following. No, I've seen other movies with her, and I think she's great.
Yeah,
you know, but she did a bunch of stuff before Twilight. She did, you know, Runaways. She's so good in that.
Panic Room, I think, is her debut, right?
Panic Room, yeah, I believe so. But you know, I feel like she's done enough apologizing and enough trying to make up for this shit. I mean, Charlie's Angels is not a good movie, but she was a lot of fun in it. Yeah,
I think the one thing Twilight can do though is get the smaller movies you want to do get greenlit. The same thing with Robert Pattinson. He had to work his way through some independent movies, you know, and like Elijah Wood has gone that direction. A lot of these guys who are in big kids franchises or teen franchises found a way to parlay that into independent films.
Yeah.
And Eisenberg, this is really before he blows up. I cannot remember what he did before this besides Cursed. There must have been something that he would get the lead in this, but after this, he does this in Zombieland, and that kind of cements him for that.
Is this right before Zombieland?
Yeah, it was about 6 months before.
He was in The Squid and the Whale, which I think is maybe what got him noticed.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
I have not.
Jeff Daniels, Laura Linney, Noah Baumbach movie.
Oh, wait. Was he in Roger Dodger? Is that his debut? That was also Noah Baumbach?
I think he was the guy in Roger Dodger. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I vaguely remember that. Wow, he did a lot of, like, you know, most of his career he's done more small-scale independent
Whenever
stuff.
he shows up, though, in a studio film, I feel like he's just repeating the role that he does here over and over and over. I mean, even when he was Lex Luthor, what the fuck were they thinking?
Oh, God.
Lex Luthor.
I will say, it looks like his actual first job was that TV show that I never saw, Get Real, which was also the first thing Anne Hathaway did, I think.
Okay.
They were siblings. And Eric Christian Olsen was the third sibling. That's weird.
Huh.
How strange.
I love Eric Christian Olsen.
I know.
But, there's nothing really stand out about this now, but I bet you at the time that, like, Jesse Eisenberg's really just killing in this movie. But since I'm so comfortable with him being this character, it didn't seem like it was really enlightening to me. But remembering that Kristen Stewart before Twilight, that was fantastic. And Ryan Reynolds before he was an A-lister. This is the summer where he became an A-lister with The Proposal and playing Deadpool the first time. And there's something just... Like, I feel like I always knew a guy like this growing up. You know, just kind of like, oh, he's somewhat handsome, he's kind of charming, but he's just like thumbing his way through the world, just trying to find something. And clearly, this Lou Reed story is bullshit.
Oh, God, I know. He just uses that. Well, remember what time period this is, 1987. So that story has a very different impact or meaning, value than I don't know, he's a hot guy. I don't think it would take much.
No. There's something about that rambling kind of thing that seemed attractive, I guess, in the 80s. Either you were a yuppie, up-and-coming yuppie, or you're one of those rambling kind of guys. Now, here's the thing is, maybe his Lou Reed story is true. I'm guessing, this is my imagination going, he jammed with Lou Reed not knowing who Lou Reed was. Like, some just random dude showed up while he was jamming on his guitar or something like that, and he didn't know who the fuck he was. It's possible.
Yeah. Who knows? I'm gonna say that, like, there's nothing wrong with this movie, but I don't really like it. I don't really care for it. Like,
really? I really enjoyed it.
I think I thought it was good before, but now it just kind of makes me sad.
I mean, it's a more bluntly honest, I think, approach to the way a lot of teen movies were doing at the time, where it seemed like we're still in the afterglow of American Pie, where a lot of it's still trying to raunch you out and a lot of like outrageous behavior. And this is, like you said, a slice of life, so it doesn't exactly go the way you think it's going to go.
Right.
All right. So that is it on Adventureland. I truly loved it, but I think The Way Back is even better. Yes, it's a little more plot heavy and I think a little bigger acting, but the story, the coming of age part seems to matter more.
Yeah, so The Way Back 2013, yeah, I think this might be the most current movie that we've ever done, but one of the movies that I think was so... Well, I don't even know if I can say it's underrated. Does anybody even know this movie exists? It's so good, and I don't know anybody who's seen it. Like, most of the movies we talk about, I think people are familiar with, but I really don't know that very many people have actually seen this movie.
Yeah, it did well. I mean, it did much better than Adventureland. And it got critically acclaimed, did well at festivals. It did, it debuted at Sundance. Cost $5 million, made $27 million. I think if I looked right, was it? I think $9 million for Adventureland, but most of that had to have been the music. I know Rock Me Amadeus isn't very expensive, but they played a lot more songs. That was funny when it was driving him crazy. He's like, it's like a 13th time today they played this damn song.
Yeah, that sounds like the 80s. That's the weird thing, is that I thought this movie was also take place in the 80s, but it doesn't.
No, but it's the brilliance of how they film it. There's so many elements where, so there's the 80s soundtrack or 80s covers mixed in with songs that are current but also sound old. They dress in very timeless clothing, where it could be then or now.
It's very ambiguous.
Yeah.
I think that's a really interesting thing.
Yeah, it's clearly a designed concept where you cannot tell what era it is, because they don't choose any particular way of talking or looks. There's some stuff gives away. I think there's a cell phone somewhere in there. There's a couple other things where it gives it away that it has to be now. But I think it's just supposed to be telling you that this isn't about this moment for one person. This is a universal story for everybody to understand. And you must... I mean, these guys are coming off of... What's that? The Descendants? They had won an Oscar for doing that movie, and this only cost $5 million. So it's kind of surprised that, you guys won an Oscar and we're only going to give you the bare minimum. But I guess it was in development hell forever. And they were just lucky that someone said, yeah, we'll make this for you.
I kind of forgot about that, Descendants. Oh my gosh.
I've never seen it, but I know that they won awards before for that.
I don't want to digress too much about that, but Descendants, I will say, what an amazing performance, unexpected performance from Matthew Lillard.
Really? I haven't seen Matthew Lillard in forever.
You really should watch it sometime, because, it's really against type. Which I think is one of the things that makes this movie so interesting, is Steve Carell, who's a character that he's never played before. And it's just like, who is this, like, macho dude and all of his, like ideas about what you know, I don't know, he's all tan and kind of buff, and
yeah, he's like kind of hot here.
Dude. Kind of.
Yeah, I can see why
really weird.
He basically agreed, for scale on this movie, knowing that, and that's what he is now. I think he made enough money off those handful of studio films that were hits. I haven't seen him make a studio film in forever, and I think it's just he's more interested in making these little independent shows and movies where he gets to play against type, or he truly believes in what they're doing. And I'm sure no studio now would back him, like in a bigger picture, because they probably think he's just done. But he's proven himself for nearly a decade in these more art house films.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we really want to see those big scale comedies that he used to do. Like, they weren't really that good.
Yeah.
Like, this dude has so much range and I really think that this was the first movie that he did, like, really choose a different kind of role, and that he, really takes a chance. And I think that there was probably two reasons why he wanted to do this movie. One, because of that, and two, he was summering somewhere very nearby with his family, so he could do both.
Yeah,
he could vacation with his family and do the movie.
That sounds great. I'm looking right here, so it looks like Crazy Stupid Love seemed to be the one that kind of changed things a little bit for him. Then he did Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, Hope Springs. Then he did that terrible, incredible Burt Wonderstone. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. And then it kind of changed, where he did Foxcatcher, The Big Short, Battle of the Sexes, Last Flag Flying, Vice. Welcome to Marwin was a studio movie, but it's such a weird idea. I'm stunned.
It's so weird, but so good. Have you seen it?
It was great, and it bombed horribly. And the only thing I think is that sometimes he goes too big with the yelling. When he freaks out, but I'm also not a person who's suffering from PSTD, so who am I to say, PTSD. You know what? I forgot. He still gets all that Minions Despicable Me money that you can live off forever.
It's great. Those movies are great, but also, have you seen Battle of the Sexes?
Yeah, I just watched it. It is so damn good. Yeah, and watching this is like the beginning of that change for him. Toni Collette has always been kind of someone who bounced in and out of indies, and same for Sam Rockwell, but this was really probably a big get for them.
I mean, what fantastic actors. I mean, Toni Collette, Allison Janney, Sam Rockwell, just like, there's so many good people. I mean, Rob Corddry's kind of in everything. Amanda Peet, I'm going to be honest about one thing, is I kind of hate, is his name Nat? Or Nate? Faxon?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I hate him.
His face. He's got a very punchable face. I think he's fucking hilarious, though, in Beer Fest.
I mean, the
thing is, you want to punch him in the face in Beer Fest.
Yeah, I think it's like the very first time I ever saw him was in like Orange County, where he's like super smarmy guy at that college party that she sort of stumbles upon.
Yeah.
And he's trying to impress her with like his black freaking turtleneck, and he's just and I think that he just always plays those kind of characters, and I always want to punch him in the face.
I was watching what is the TV show? Damn it came after Freaks and Geek. Undeclared. I thought that he was on Undeclared as a smart, and I got that because they both debuted around the same time, so I got him confused. I thought that was his character, but Orange County, he just cleared it up for me because I never saw him in the show. I was like, what was I imagining this?
Yeah, I don't know about his TV work, but he definitely pops up a lot, and I'm just like, nope. Always want to punch you in the face. Good thing you do a lot of voice work.
Yeah, so this is another one that captures kind of the essence of a park. It doesn't get into the heavy details the way Adventureland does, because this one, Adventureland, that is the core of the story. Everything is basically surrounding that place. Whereas the swimming park, it's kind of part of it, kind of not. It's mostly because he gets that part-time job without telling anybody. Where do they think he is all day? Just wandering around?
Well, I don't know. They're just super like self-involved kind of dickheads who, I mean, they just get mad at him all the time, but they don't actually like try to talk to him or spend time with him or figure out anything. So what do they expect?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a little strange that, I mean, I thought it was so funny when he found the like daughter's like little girl bike in the garage, and he just starts like riding it around town.
Yeah,
because he's so irritated and he just like needs to get away. And yes, it's the swim park is like part of it, but it's just it's not as much of an important part. There's so much more going on with his mom and this weird family unit that they're like trying to force upon him that's really not healthy, but nobody will do anything about it, so he just leaves and finds some connection with these people at this water park. And Sam Rockwell is sort of like the equivalent of like Ryan Reynolds' character, but he's so much better of a person. Like,
right, it's two sides of the same coin. They're both man-child kind of characters, but one is kind of the bad side where he makes all the terrible choices that are selfish and stupid, and Sam Rockwell just loves goofing off and being like a kid. He doesn't want to grow up because he feels like that's a level that he just never want. Like, Misery is waiting. I know what this is like. I've refused to grow up forever because I thought Misery was around the corner if you chose that. And he realizes it's not there, and that he's going to lose the woman that he's very interested in, Maya Rudolph's character. And then maybe it's time for him to just accept some more responsibility, stop screwing around. And the funny thing is that the kid shows him up a lot. He's like, dude, you actually don't ever show up on time. We get all this stuff done before you show up, and that's not how you do it at all.
Yeah, it's like he does kind of like, the kid is like a little bit is more mature than this grown ass man, and it's just, I think they definitely learn a bit from each other. Like, the kid needs to have a little bit more fun and a little more confidence, but this man needs to actually act like a man sometimes. I think, you know, they learned a little bit from each other, which was really cool. And yeah, Maya Rudolph was sort of like, wasn't a huge role, but, you know, their little banter was a lot of fun, and, you know, how much she just like put up with his bullshit. It's just so
here's
funny.
the other big difference.
I think that Sam Rockwell is just a fucking gem.
He's is. We were just talking about it the other day. Like, I can't find Box of Moonlight anywhere, which I think is the first time we really saw him. Not Box of Moonlight. No, Lawn Dogs. The one that he did with Misha. What's the one from OC? Misha Barton.
Oh gosh, I kind of forgot about that. That's such a good movie.
So what I was also thinking is the main difference between Ryan Reynolds' character and Sam Rockwell's is at no point does Ryan Reynolds' character ever care about anybody but himself.
No.
But Sam Rockwell from the beginning is empathetic to this young boy who is lost and frustrated, and he's with him the entire movie. He never betrays him. He may fuck up, you know, with his behavior, but at no point is he malicious or does anything really selfish. He just doesn't think.
Right.
And he's so protective of him. And the end of the movie, when he jumps out of that car, I almost cry. Because he goes there to say goodbye to everybody and have one last ride, you know, just one big championship ride. And it's the right answer. His desperation with his mother, because she knows, but she's too scared to do anything because she doesn't want to be alone. Just begging her to do something. I mean, it's a very powerful film.
Yeah, I definitely think more people need to become aware of this and check it out, because it is really just so many good actors, such a nice, like, I mean, it's not all like, you know, a cute summer movie. It has some of that, but it definitely is, you know, a coming of age story where you really get to see this kid like come into his own. Even though he's grappling, he is figuring out some things about himself, and it's just a really fucking good movie.
Yeah. Shortest episode we've done in a while, but really there's nothing really to debate, you know, argue about on this. Like, some of them, like, we're like, well, this is good, but this isn't. Two really, really solid movies, pretty easy to find. Didn't do that well at the theaters, but did well on video. Two thumbs, I'm gonna get sued. Two boogers, way up. I'll think of something better. I swear to God. Two big splashes.
Yeah, you're so mature. You're really working on that.
Two Rock Me Amadeuses. So, right. Summer is basically over with. We're going to be going back to school. So we're going to try, I know school is depressing for everybody, so let's try some silly stuff. We're going to watch, it's the 25th anniversary of High School High and the 20th anniversary of Not Another Teen Movies. Two fun little pictures that are spoofing the whole genre.
Love it.
Yay! Do you even like parody movies? I can't remember. Some people can't stand them as they get older.
If they're to some degree.
Yeah.
I mean, like, did I super enjoy the very first, like, Scary Movie? Yes. Did I feel the same way by the time they had made 7 of them? Maybe not.
No. I'm really surprised by the third one being good.
So, yes. Mostly, but some of them are done really, really badly. So
yeah. Oh, anything in the last decade or so has been from those two guys. It usually says Not Another Teen Movie and Scary Movie are the only two parodies that have the word movie in them that are any good. The rest of them
Date
are
movie.
truly maybe superhero movie. I feel like that was from a totally different team. But there's these guys that did Date Movie and Epic Movie and Vampires Suck and Furious or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Fast and Furious parody.
No thanks.
Yeah, so those guys suck. But that is it for this episode. Check us out on Facebook under Hit Rewind, and have a good night.